Well, it's the hottest party in the country, folks. The 2024 Bitcoin conference in Nashville underway right now. The speaker lineup headed, of course, by former President Trump speaking tomorrow. Russell Brand is there, Edward Snowden, Vivek Ramaswamy, and my next guest, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert, welcome to the show. Now, you launched your campaign last year at that Bitcoin Miami conference. Why have you been so attached to this Bitcoin blockchain movement?
You know, Charles, when I knew a little bit about Bitcoin, and I actually got introduced to it after the Ottawa trucker strike, when the government of Ottawa shut down everybody's bank account who was participating in a peaceful public protest. And I realized that transactional freedom was as important as freedom of speech, because if the government can starve you to death and get you thrown out of your home and make it so you can't buy gasoline without ever charging you with a crime, without ever convicting you of a crime, just because you complained about a government policy, then freedom of speech is meaningless. Bitcoin clearly was an answer to that, and that's what brought me to that Miami conference. I left that conference utterly enthusiastic about the capacity of Bitcoin to solve a whole host of other problems, cybersecurity problems. It is the currency of freedom. It gives transparency to government. It democratizes our government. It's a hedge against inflation. It's an off-road to these terrible $34 trillion deficit that it can save us from. And it stops money from a government from just printing money, which is the only way to really end war. The government, as long as the government can print unlimited amounts of money without ever asking us if they can tax us, the wars are going to continue forever. So there are so many benefits to it. I actually left that Miami conference, and I had just received my check for my fees from the Monsanto case, and I put almost all of that into Bitcoin, which represented a large part of my own net worth. I didn't do that to make money, although I ended up making substantial money. I did it because of the association with Bitcoin, with personal freedom, right, with transparency, right, with democracy, all the things that that we ought to be working toward.
You know, one of the ironies, as you were telling the story, the truckers, that up in the skyscraper in the penthouse, one of the biggest central bankers in the world lodged the complaint because of the noise. You can't make this stuff up. I know you spent a lot of...
True? I didn't know that.
It is, yeah. I forgot the dude's name, but he's huge. He's like one of the world's greatest central bankers, and the truckers are making too much noise. Cut him off. I know you spent a lot of today dismissing reports of dropping out, endorsing Donald Trump. But I want to also shift, because you were certified in Nebraska, and this is over Democratic Party opposition. So many Americans are saying that your former party, the nominating process, the anointment of Vice President Harris, that the whole thing has become un-American. That's a thread that's been your message from day one. What are your thoughts that more and more people are agreeing with you?
Well, yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, the whole the central focus of the Democratic Party was making sure that every American could vote for whoever they wanted to vote for. The Democratic Party today is all about the opposite of that, about making sure that candidates who are going to run against their chosen candidate that the legal system, that the law enforcement agencies are used to prevent those candidates from running. They made it almost impossible for me to get on the ballot in all the states. I am going to. In fact, we have now completed all the signatures. I think we have one state left where we have a couple hundred signatures. We've gotten over 2 million signatures, more signatures than any presidential candidate in history. We've done something nobody in history has been able to do, up against the headwinds that they've created for us. They're suing us in all the states, but we're going to win the lawsuits.
Yeah.
But it's not a good look for the Democratic Party. They're saying, well, we have to do this in order to save democracy from Donald Trump. But they're actually, the real argument is we're destroying democracy in order to save it. It's a paradox.
They kicked you out, then they took the Biden voters and kicked them out. And I've got less than a minute to go, and I hate to rush you, but I got to get your thoughts on this, because you brought up how Bitcoin can help us also mitigate or avoid wars. There was a tweet by Douglas McGregor that you retweeted, and essentially it's suggesting that if you look at the way things are going with UK and French trainers being intercepted by Russian missiles and Russian fighters, that we're being drawn into this. At some point, the West is going to be drawn into this war beyond just writing checks, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're already being drawn into it. And, you know, Putin's demand, we had the opportunity twice to settle this war on terms that were very, very good for the American people. In April of 2022, President Putin and President Zelensky signed an agreement that was refereed by Naftali Bennett, the Prime Minister of Israel, and also the Prime Minister of Turkey. It was a great agreement. All Putin really wanted was us to keep NATO pledged and not put NATO into Ukraine, which is a legitimate demand by him. He was withdrawing his troops after initialing that treaty, and President Biden sent Boris Johnson over there to force Zelensky to tear up the treaty. Since then, 600,000 Ukrainian kids have died for a reason nobody should have died. Yeah. And we're now on the brink of closer to nuclear exchange than any time since 1962. And I remember that Cuban Missile Crisis like it was yesterday. Yeah. And it is shocking to me that there are people in the White House that are allowing this to happen.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you've blazed a hell of a trail, and you've opened a lot of eyes. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you, Charles.
All right, see you soon.